Hey everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here for another episode of Arrow. This time it's Canary Cry. So we just continue with all the Laurel stuff, of course.
Yeah, we got a copycat Black Canary, which means we got to worry about her messing with her legacy or
That's
whatever.
basically... Evelyn Sharp is basically the only part of this episode I really didn't like. Like, the rest of the episode I actually really enjoyed.
Lance was in denial and he kept trying to find ways to save her. He didn't realize that Nyssa destroyed the Lazarus Pit, and then after she told him that, he still thought he could find a way. I'm like, dude, what's your plan?
But I liked that, and I also liked that Nyssa was here, and I liked that Nyssa was being really helpful too.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Nyssa really here for everyone too, because that was nice. But yeah, obviously we pick right up where we left off with Quentin, and at first it hits him hard, and then you see him in denial for the rest of the episode. And then you have to do the same thing with Laurel's mother, Dinah. Yeah. Who, you forget she exists. She barely shows up on the show.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if she ever appears again. It's weird. She doesn't show up much, but oh well. But yeah, and then of course you've got Diggle.
Yeah. He blames himself because he trusted Andy. Then Felicity blames herself because she wasn't there. And of course Oliver blames himself because he always does.
Yeah, but I really liked Diggle's moment, especially that moment where he went after Hervé. That moment where Diggle broke down was a really good moment too. That was a really good moment. Quentin had a lot of really good moments. It was nice to see Nyssa here for everyone. And of course, hey, a plus side is we didn't have to deal with the flashbacks because they decided to give us flashbacks to between season 1 and 2 after Tommy died for some reason. But I guess it was just a good chance to show off more Laurel. The only laughable downside is whenever they do these flashbacks to like season 1, and you've got to see all the characters try and pretend it's season 1, and they just can't. Like seeing Quentin, he doesn't look. That wig is not going to look like his original hair.
Yeah.
And Laurel's face is pointy now. But oh well. But yeah. It was some good flashbacks, and and it connects into what we saw at the beginning of season 2 when Oliver went away.
Yeah.
But like I said, the only downside is, of course, Evelyn Sharp. She was about the only downside. And the weird thing is, they also didn't spend too much time focusing on it. They really did make sure to spend a lot of time focusing on Oliver, Diggle, Quentin, everyone.
It still doesn't make sense how she managed to get the Sonic thing to work. She doesn't seem... She looks so young and she doesn't seem smart enough to rework it and change it. It was supposed to only work for Laurel.
Yeah.
They didn't really explain how she fixed that. When they first said it is keyed to her vocal cords, at first I thought the other Black Canary might be something else that I know is coming, but... Then I realised, maybe it's too early for that.
No, but that's an interesting point, but we'll get to that later. But it wouldn't be.
No.
But we'll talk about that later. But that's a clever thing to think about.
Yeah.
But you'll know when it happens.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the flashbacks. They were nice. What was I going to say?
And then we ended with that scene we've seen before, where we're at the grave and all that.
Yeah, which raises one question I have to ask is, what exactly was keeping Barry up? He says Zoom, but what? For reference, the last time we saw Barry was, I believe, the episode where he went back in time to see Wells and all that for the stuff. So I don't get why, but whatever is whatever.
I know, how can you miss the funeral? You weren't doing anything with Zoom.
We don't know. It's really iffy on what he was doing and when. Maybe this takes place during the next episode. I doubt it. It doesn't line up, but the timeline's really weird. But to be fair, there is no true course on where this takes place in the Flash timeline. It's very ambiguous. You can't use air. This is another reason why you cannot go by air date. Because if you did, actually I can't even say why. Because there's reasons why this can't take place when it aired alongside Flash, because it wouldn't make sense with Barry. I'll explain that.
You can say that once we know stuff.
Yeah, so I had to either put it before stuff that happens in Flash, or after, which would be even more tricky because the Flash is going to get close to its end and the things are going to get hectic.
Yeah.
But with what's happened, with what's about to happen in the next episode of Flash, it wouldn't make sense that it takes place at the same time. It has to take place beforehand.
Yeah.
But enough about Barry. We're not here for the Flash. But yeah, honestly, this was a really good episode. This was really good picking up all the stuff from last
Although,
episode.
speaking of Barry, a lot of our problems would be solved if we just got him to help us.
Why can't Barry just go get Damien Dark? I don't... Yeah, I mean, you're always going to ask these questions, like, why didn't he help Ra's al Ghul? He was already there at the League last season, but that's last season's issues. Oh, well. Why? Especially, he's got plenty of time. Oh, well, let's not worry about that. That's always going to be a problem. But yeah, Quentin was great, Nyssa was great, Diggle was great. Yeah, and of course, now we've got an arrest warrant for the vigilantes. But other than that, outside of all the dealing with Laurel stuff, there isn't much to happen.
You know what they should have done? Back when Malcolm stole the statue thing, and everyone was like, oh, it's okay because it's missing a piece, and Diggle's the one who hid the piece. Of course, their downfall was Andy found the piece. But what they should have done, just on the off chance that Damien gets his hands on the other piece, they should have had Barry run and take the idol off Malcolm before he's able to give it to Damien, so that even if he finds the small piece, he wouldn't have the big piece.
The better part would have been, like, have Barry take and hide the small piece. It's like, hey, can you take this? Take it somewhere? Maybe throw it into the Speed Force or throw it into the past or something?
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to keep it.
Exactly. Then what the fuck's he gonna do? But, oh well. Enough about that. This was honestly a really good episode. I'm gonna give it another 8.5 like last time.
Yeah, I'll go 8.
But yeah, really good episode. Next episode, there's only 4 episodes left of Arrow this season, thank goodness. But next episode is called Genesis.
Oh, Damien was talking about that.
Have we really talked about what Genesis is?
No, but all I remember is when Malcolm was giving him the idol, he said, and Damien said, all right, you and your daughter are spared from Genesis.
Ah, yes. That's the thing. I'm trying to play it safe now because I know you're pretty much blind except for maybe a few details of the end of the season.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much blind for season 5 onwards.
Yeah.
So this is fun. You're getting to be blind again, and it's the first time where I've watched something and you haven't, because we watched Constantine together, but now it'll be time for you to watch shows that you've not seen, but I have.
Yeah.
But enough about that. We'll see you next time for more Arrow and other things as well. See you next time, guys.